What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone 2 Kappa Mode. Oh yeah, guys, so we've been working on getting a lot of mechanism stuff done recently and some pneumatic craft stuff. So we've completed a good portion of the first section of quests. I would like to continue on with our quest and go down the line. Zeta is our next section that we really need to work on. We did a little bit of this stuff last time, but I kind of like to knock out a lot of the Mine Factory Reloaded things. Yeah, so we can get pink slime and get the laser drill and all sorts of things like this going on. I think that might be a cool idea. Deep storage is a thing that we made a while ago. In fact, I just got done using a lot of the deep storage units here. Hooking up, yeah, more of them over here for our ore processing. So I'll show you guys what we've done. So we have a bank of 8 of those. As you guys know, 8 channels on one of these ME glass cables, and those are all connected to storage buses on the back here, so we can only do 8 at a time, so I kind of separate these out. So over here we have copper, which is being processed. Copper ore is a thing we have being made through our magical crops, right? So we have the copper ore being fed in through now 2 different interfaces. So yeah, this interface right here is providing all the ores that need to be smelted through our induction smelter. This one over here is providing sand in the Mangaloy for our other operations. And you can see this is where we're retrieving all the ores that are currently being processed right now. So we're doing osmium and copper, both of which we hadn't been processing before. So if we search for ore in the system, both of those should be high on the list. We got 90,000 copper ore, and we've gone through quite a lot of this osmium since I set this up. It was at 106,000 when I first set this up, and you can see now it's at 46,000. So yeah, quite a lot of that's already been processed. So once those get processed, it'll start doing the iron, lead, and tin. That's already set up for that to happen. So yeah, anyway, we were running out of, or we didn't have these deep storage units set up. So I had to set these up. So now we got our osmium going here and our silver and lead and so forth. And then we have copper here. And then I just realized our glowing Mangaloy, we just had it going back into our applied energistic system, but we have 51,000 of that. And this is set up to be automated, so we're only ever going to get more and more and more of this stuff. So I figured it's a good idea just to set up a deep storage unit specifically for that, so we always have that available, right? Okay, so anyway, that's what I've been doing with our deep storage units. We made a stack of those a long time ago. That's this portion that's complete. And then we also need to get ourselves a deep storage label. This is the part that is incomplete. So let's take a look at that. Deep storage label. So this guy is pretty inexpensive. Paper around a wooden slab. Looks like we have plenty of wooden slabs that we can use. There's that. And then paper. We just need 8 of that. We'll go and fill this all in and then switch these around like they should be. There you go. Deep storage label. Cool. All right. So that should complete that quest. Nice. That is a compact giant chance cube or 2 loot chests. Guess we'll do one of the loot chests. Don't really care about the giant chance cube. Oh, that also reminds me, off camera, I did finish up, which was the quest? The applied energistics one. This section? Ah, yeah, our wireless crafting terminal. This one was, why did it go to that one? This one we did not have completed yet, but yeah, we've already made the wireless crafting terminal. It was still waiting for the ME wireless access point and the ME security terminal. I guess both of those we didn't have in our inventory since we made this wireless crafting terminal. So yeah, I went downstairs, I broke our current stuff, put it in my inventory, and completed the quest. So pretty simple thing to do. Let's go ahead and claim the loot chest from that one. I think that's all. Yeah, we still got to do all this stuff. We'll do that later. So anyway, back to the Zeta section here. So we have a few more things. So this wants us to make a planter that goes with the harvester, but I don't know if we're ever going to use a planter, but it's one of the quests that we have to do. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, I guess, why did that quest update? I have no idea. Did we get something else here? No, no idea. Anyway, moving on. Let's go and make ourselves a planter. So the planter, oh, actually, you know what? We didn't even show what the deep storage label is. Let's put this on a deep storage unit so you guys can see what these do. These are kind of cool. It kind of turns your deep storage unit into like a barrel, right? So if I put this right here, we can see that there is 28,000 stacks of gold in there, I think is what that says. So I can right click to get one. I think shift right click to get a stack. It's pretty cool. And then you can right click or double right click on there to put the stuff back in there. I don't remember. How do you get the labels out of there? Do you just punch it? Maybe you just punch it. Or do you have to use a pickaxe? I don't know. Punching it seems to work, so you can get the label off like that. Personally, I don't want the labels on there because that's more items that are going to be rendered in the game, which is going to eventually cause more lag. Otherwise, it'd be awesome to have all the deep storage units available like that. But yeah, the more items you have rendered, the worse your frame rate gets over time. Okay, let's go back to what we were going to work on here, the planter. So we want to make one of these. So that is 2 pistons, a machine chassis, Z-Logic, electrical steel. I think we have everything except for the flower pot ready to go, or at least on auto craft. So do we have brick? We do. Okay, so that's pretty easy. We're only going to make one of these planters. There's no reason to make more of them because we just don't need it. So we need plastic sheets, which we have on auto craft. Just craft up like 10 of those. Piston, I think we needed 2 of those. What else did we need here? Machine chassis, Z-Logic. Z-Logic is auto craftable, and then a machine chassis is also auto craftable. Cool. So we should have everything now. There it is. Planter. Easy. Okay, so planter is now complete. As you guys know, the planter works with the harvester. So with the planter, like it says on the screen, it plants crops. You could use it to plant trees, like saplings, and you can have the harvester chop down the trees so they work together. Anyway, I don't think we're going to be using this. There's no need to with the magical crops situation that we have going on. So we'll go ahead and claim a loot chest for that. Cool. So lava just slithering in. This wants us to make a lava fabricator. So this is a way that we could generate lava, although, again, magical crops. We can use our fire essence that we have, plus a bucket to make a bucket of lava, right? And that requires no power at all other than the cost of harvesting our fire essence. So we really don't have a use for this, but it is a thing that it wants us to make. So lava fabricator. This is probably a great item to use on like a smeltery or something like that earlier on. So you can always keep your smeltery tank full. But as we've seen in this particular mod pack, using gasoline in the smeltery is way better. So machine chassis is another thing we need to craft. Go ahead and craft up one of those. Then we need some magma cream. Apparently we don't have any. So magma cream is made with slime ball plus blaze powder, right? We can go and make a stack of that, I believe. Blaze powder. Let's just make a stack of those magma creams. Okay, so there is all of that. There is a lava fabricator. I do believe this requires a lot of power now that I think about it. Yeah, it says 100 RF per work, and it needs how much work? It's just made lava by filling up power from my inventory. It doesn't say how much work it takes per unit. Maybe if we stick this next to our battery over here, it'll show us a little bit better. Nope, it doesn't say how much work. Maybe this doesn't cost that much in this mod pack. Honestly, I don't know. But anyway, lava fabricator, there you go. So it just makes lava and you can pipe out of it, which I guess is probably a little bit more convenient than using the magical crops in the bucket, because then you need a way to get the fluid out of the bucket. Anyway, just another alternative to make lava, I suppose. So that is done, and that'll give us a loot chest. We'll claim that guy. All right, so now we got 2 different ones. We have a grinder, and then we have a sludge boiler. Let's go and make a grinder. So the grinder, mob grinder, right? This is used for slaying monsters. So you kill a monster with this, you get, I think you just get essence for that, right? It's been a while since I've used one of those. I think that's what it does. It makes essence for slaying monsters. Okay, so we have everything except for the machine chassis. And again, pretty easy thing, unless we run out of the redstone things. I should probably tell the system here to make some more of those. These are crystallized redstone. Let's just tell the system to make like 10 more of those. That just takes a minute for the lasers to work, and I believe that is what is in these machine chassis. Yeah, so those would be a little expensive, or I guess it would just take a little bit of time for that to happen. So let's just craft this guy up, and there we go, a grinder. Let's set this down, take a look at it. Yeah, so it kills monsters and it makes essence per kill, and the essence you can use in the auto spawner. But we have a cow that makes essence, and we're auto harvesting or ranching the essence from the cow. So there's no real reason to set this one up in the path that we've chosen for this playthrough. So yeah, this would be a good way to kill monsters though, but we're using the spikes from extra utilities that are enchantable, and we're getting mob souls for what we're using that for. So anyway, that's just another alternative. Okay, so grinder is now done. We'll go ahead and claim the loot for that. Sludge Boiler. Now this is an interesting one. I don't remember everything that we can get from the Sludge Boiler, but I do know all the crops that we are harvesting in the last millennium, all the magical crops. We're using harvesters, and all those harvesters are producing sludge, and we are currently voiding all of that sludge away. So we could use the Sludge Boiler and get more resources. It says produces some useful blocks such as clay after receiving sludge from harvesters. Warning, when active, Sludge Boiler poisons you. Yeah, so it puts off an area of effect of like particles or whatever, and if you get within that range, you start taking hunger damage and poison damage, or I can't remember everything. I don't know. Is there a way to see what this thing produces? I thought there was a way. Maybe if we look up clay blocks. It says it comes from the Sludge Boiler recipes. Okay, so recipes here, we can get sand, we can get clay, we can get dirt. It's two different types. Was one of those like coarse dirt and coarse dirt. We can get red sand, gravel. We can get mycelium, soul sand, netherrack, podzol, tainted soil, and heat sand from the Sludge Boiler. Maybe heat sand would be the only thing I can think of that would be a good result from this. But honestly, I don't think we need it. Is there another recipe for heat sand? So we can sieve soul sand to get heat sand at a 3% drop rate. I think I've had to do that before. What is heat sand used for? I know I've needed it. Maybe heat glass is what I've had to use that for. What's the heat glass used for? I think there's something specific. Maybe it was a hell furnace that I had to make because that requires heat glass specifically. But honestly, I think we might be done with that whole situation. Wait, you can use regular glass to turn into heat glass. Is that real? Okay, hold on a second. How did I not know about this before? Do we have a chisel in here? I probably have one in my pouch. Let me look at this, because if that's the case, there's zero reason to ever get that heat glass. I did not even realize that you could get it this way. Oh my goodness. So there's no reason to set up the Sludge Boiler at all for us in this point in time. I guess unless we wanted to get that stuff and set up some kind of automation for it, I don't really see a purpose of doing that. Anyway, so a Sludge Boiler, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So the Sludge Boiler is pretty similar to all these other recipes that we've done. We did not craft that yet, right? Retrieval task consume, no. All right. Yeah, that feels very similar to the previous recipe we just did, so it kind of confused me. It's like, did we make that yet or not? So the furnace, let's make 2 of these. We should have everything in the system to do that. We do. Awesome. And then we need a machine, a chassis as well. I should probably tell the system to craft up like 3 of those because we're probably going to need more than one. All right, so there is a Sludge Boiler. Cool. All right, so we'll choose the bottom loot chest, I suppose. Slaughterhouse. All right, so this is a way to get pink slime. That is something I believe we do need in order to do the MFR laser drill. So the Slaughterhouse is made pretty close to the same recipes as we've seen before. It does require 2 of those swords, these ender swords, which we've got from our loot bags, I believe, from the monsters before. So dark axe, we need to make 2 of those. And done. Cool. So we will get some use out of the Slaughterhouse. That is definitely something that we need to use because we need the pink slime. Okay, so let's take a look at the quest book for that. I don't know why this backed out of where we were. So it says harvest any mob in a 5x5x4 area in front of it and turn it into meat and pink slime. Okay, so let's go and choose a loot chest from that. And our next task is pink slime crystals. So it says produce from the Slaughterhouse, right? So we need pink slime. You get the, I think it is 9 pink slime balls in a crafting grid. Makes this pink slime thing that you have to smelt into the crystal. let's just take a look at this thing. So pink slime ball, the uses can be used in place of pretty much every single type of slime ball, I think. So we can turn it into a pink slime block by 9 of those. I believe smelting that pink slime block turns it into the crystal. Yeah, that's exactly right. And then the pink slime crystal is used in a few recipes, so we are going to need a lot of pink slime. So previously we were spawning in regular green slime. We have 19,000 of these. It'll probably be a good idea to do the same thing with pink slime. Try and get a mob soul for the pink ones, replace our villager soul with those, spawn in a whole lot of them, get a crazy ridiculous amount of slime balls and probably some pink slime mob souls. I think that's probably going to be a thing that we're going to want to do, but we can't do that just yet. We need to hook up the slaughterhouse. So let's grab a tesseract, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think with the amount of villagers that we have spawning over here, that we might be able to get a few of them with the slaughterhouse before the spikes kill them. We might be able to do that. Let's check this out. So slaughterhouse, I believe, is facing inwards. Let me go ahead and turn down the sounds here. I think that's friendly creatures, right? And blocks. Players. Players is making the portal sound. Okay, that's much better. So let's set this tesseract. Energy mode receive only, main base power. So now this thing has power. So this should potentially kill villagers if they catches it at the right time. Yeah, the problem is we need to synchronize the killing of this with the spikes. It might be an idea for me to stop the spawner up there, put some blocks on top of these spikes so the villagers don't kill themselves, or maybe just remove the spikes completely for the time being until we get enough pink slime. That's probably what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and remove the spikes. Get rid of those. Get rid of those. Okay, so I'll put the glass back. I think that's probably gonna be downstairs in the chest. Is that? I don't know where the glass is. Why is the glass not here? Is that in this thing? Okay. So we have the spikes, we have the glass, we can fill the glass back in so the villagers just hang out down here and the slaughterhouse should be able to do its thing. Unless the slaughterhouse cannot work with the villagers. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. Let's find out. Okay, so the villagers are going down there. It looks weird, but I think they're not actually falling through. Okay, let's turn this off. We got too many villagers. They're gonna start lagging. Okay, does the slaughterhouse not work with the villagers? It might not work with the villagers. Okay, so we might have to swap that out for another mob soul. That's fine. I don't know how we're gonna get rid of all these villagers now. Probably the easiest way would be lava. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me grab a bucket. Sorry, villagers, but you gotta go. Yeah, we'll go ahead, get rid of the villagers. Like so. We'll get rid of the villagers. We'll replace that mob soul up above with a slime one, and hopefully we'll get the slaughterhouse to work that way. Okay, let me grab a slime. And we'll replace that real quick. Hopefully this will just work. I think it will, though. I wasn't sure if it was going to work with the villagers. Obviously, it doesn't work. Okay, so some of them are still hitting that residual lava. Oh, I don't want this thing going super long. Turn that back off. Okay, so is this slaughterhouse going to work? Yeah, check it out. So we got pink slime and we got meat. So villagers don't work. Slimes do. We got lots of meat being generated here. We need the pink slime. Let me grab 2 drums. And then we need ender fluid conduit. Or we could actually just set the drums directly next to this, I think. So I'll fill up with meat. And then when we're all done, we can just go ahead and collect the pink slime out of here. I wonder if I set that here. There we go. That's now pink slime. Okay, so it does not appear that the slaughterhouse is at the level that it will properly kill these guys. Let me grab these things. We'll bring this down one level. Oh, I think my Tesseract just got snatched away. So Slaughterhouse here. Meat. Pink slime. No, that's all about. It looks like my pink slime's gone away too. Okay, well, you guys see how this is gonna work. Let me just go ahead and finish this up real quick. Oh, that looked like a slime was coming down here. Let me go and finish this up real quick. We'll get a bucket of pink slime and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so I kind of put everything back together over there. After a little while, we did get over 2 buckets worth of pink slime stuff, so I think we're good. Let's go and set this down right here and I'll grab a bucket of it. So the way this stuff works, you just kind of place it on the ground. Yeah, and after a certain amount of time, it turns into an adorable pink slime with only half a heart, right? So I just got done making the slime embiggening syringes. So that is 2 slime balls and a piece of lapis in an empty syringe, which is a bunch of plastic and an iron ingot. So what this does is this will increase the size of our little friend here by right-clicking on it. Now it'll start doing damage to me, so let's kind of fly up a little bit. So that's the medium size. This is the large size, which starts doing more damage. I think if you do it another time, it explodes and like the slime goes away. I made 3 of these, but I don't think 3 is what we want it to do. But anyway, let's grab this guy with a safari net here. And then we will put it into an auto spawner that I've set up over at our farm. Yep, we'll put it into an auto spawner over here. We'll set it to, no, it's zombie. We want this one. So spawn exact copy, yes. And I'll turn the redstone signal. Oops, nope. The redstone signal was already off. Okay, so once this goes all the way down, it should spawn an exact copy, a large pink slime. That's the idea. Maybe. Someday. Is the room not big enough? Maybe that's the problem. Work 53. Maybe the room needs to be bigger. I'm not sure. Well, now it's oh no, work 53. Maybe it's trying to spawn in a space where it can't fit, or did this run out of power? It's run out of power. Of course it did. That was the one thing that I forgot to add to this. Oops. All right, let's grab that energy conduit. Let's just make up 10 of those. That should be fine. That's a pretty quick craft. Right, I knew I forgot something. So energy conduit will run all the way down our facades. We'll put the Tesseract right here. We'll make sure this ignores redstone signal. So this thing should now have power. There it goes. Work is happening. And there is a large pink slime. So we'll get one of those every now and then. It's about 10 or 15 seconds between spawn. That's going to be landing down here on our spikes. And that's going to be producing the smaller slimes and the smaller slimes, etc. So eventually we'll end up with a lot of pink slime balls like we have right now in our inventory. Let's turn our magnet off so that stops happening. I want that all to go down. And then I think we can also get pink slime souls. That's the other idea. Oh, okay. I was thinking the pink slime was going into the green ones. There it is, pink slime soul. Awesome. So now we have a pink slime mob soul. We can spawn in a lot of pink slimes really quickly. So let's turn this on, which turns this off, right? Redstone signal. This one's off because I have the redstone signal on there. We'll put pink slime and we'll let that thing go. So now we're going to be producing pink slimes all the time. Although it looks like the small ones. That's kind of disappointing. I was kind of hoping we'd see all sorts of different types of them. But either way, that doesn't require essence. It doesn't require power. It's just going to spawn a whole bunch of them every few seconds. It'll all go down here. Make more pink slime balls. Yeah, so that's not so bad. Make more pink slime balls. We'll eventually get more mob souls. So if we ever need to swap out our pink slimes for other things, we can do that. I think the other thing that we needed to do, and I think I might have forgot, is to add looting onto these spikes. I think we put sharpness on there and we put Reaper, but we never put looting on there. If we put looting on there, we'll get... Oh, you know what? I turned the wrong thing on, didn't I? Yeah, if we put looting on there, we will get a whole lot more slime balls really quickly. So that might be another thing I do if we grab the enchanting, or I guess the enchanter, the printing press, and all that stuff. So I might go ahead and do that. Swap out our spikes, put looting on there, and then see how we go from there. All right, guys, so I successfully added the looting to all 9 of our spikes down there, and I got some drawers hooked up. So now we have over 9,000 pink slime balls, so that's pretty awesome. 31 mob souls of the pink slime variety, which is also pretty cool. I guess we might even get pink slime trophies. That's something I didn't even consider yet. I was just noticing that since we had the green trophy, well, the green slime trophy, but I guess if we ever get those, well, I should probably figure out something to do about that if we ever do get those. But anyway, this should be set up and doing everything we want. So we're trying to make a pink slime crystal. So we should probably set up a pattern for that because we will need more of those in the future. As we saw, the pink slime crystals are used in a few other recipes. So let's go ahead and make a recipe to make pink slime blocks, and then we'll make a recipe to turn pink slime blocks into pink slime crystals. We'll want a processing pattern for that, one of these, and then we'll throw that over in our redstone furnace over here. This one. I was like, wait, which one is it? Because I was holding shift. Right, so now we should be able to get pink slime crystals. Do those have EMC? They do not. So we will have to craft these up every time for later. Okay, so now we can do redstone furnace, pink slime crystal, and then we're gonna have to just put our other pink slime somewhere in here, just a regular crafting pattern like so. So if I wanted to make, oh, I don't know, 10 more pink slime crystals, we should be able to auto craft those now. There they are, perfect. So I'll let this go for a little while. I have a storage drawer over there, like I said, with all the upgrades, so we can get up to 10, 106,000 is what it is, 106,000 slime, and then it starts voiding it out at that point. I guess we'll just let this go for a little while. Now I'll probably switch that back over to the villagers to continue getting villager souls, which we now have 11,000 of, so we're not really hurting for them. Yeah, we can afford to let the pink slimes go for a little while. Anyway, retrieval task wants us to have 1 pink slime crystal on us, so let's do that. And the quest is now complete. I do need to turn up my sounds again now that we're no longer over there by the mob farm. Better. Okay, so that is going to give us a loot chest. We'll claim that. That'll add to our collection of loot chests that we need to open. And going back to our quest section here, the next quest is the pre-charger. So this wants us to make 4 laser drill pre-chargers. Just retrieval. We don't have to craft them. So laser drill. I assume we're gonna have to make the laser drill a little bit later, but anyway, we can do this one first. So that is 2 double layers, 2 fused quartz, or I assume hardened glass. Yep. A pink slime crystal and a light. A light is just glass glowstone. Yeah, we can go ahead and make all of these things. I think I will just go ahead and set up auto crafting for this because that's kind of an annoying thing to make. What about this? Cool. So we can do all of that and just tell the system to make 4 of those, and we should be good to go. I just find a spot in here. Sure, we'll put them right here. Okay, so laser drill pre-charger. There we go. Easy. And wait for it. There it is. Cool. Okay, so laser drill pre-charger. It says the laser drill pre-charger is used to power the laser drill. On its own, it is useless. So we do have to make a laser drill in order to do anything with that. We'll claim another loot chest. And then finally, the laser drill is the final item that we need to make here. It says drill into the void for free ores. It's not really free if you have to power it with RF, right? Can obtain specific types of ores by using a laser drill lens of a specific color. So yes, we have gotten some of those lenses. We search for drill, laser, these. So we have gotten these different ones. We got a yellow, gray, and a brown one. So depending on which color we use, I think the yellow one focuses more on yellow things like glowstone and yellorium. Although I could be wrong. We could look these up in NEI and it'll tell us which ones are which. But anyway, we need to make ourselves the laser drill. That's just a retrieval task as well. The laser drill is 2 more lights, octatic plastic sheets. This is pretty inexpensive. We'll just tell the system to craft up 2 of these lights and we should be able to craft the drill, the laser itself. Cool. All right, so there we go. There is that. And that should complete that quest. It does. All right, so let's choose a loot chest. And that is pretty much it for the MFR section. So laser drill, I don't know how much use we're going to get out of this right now. We might need it for later for specific ores. We'll have to see. But yeah, this goes into the void and then it just starts producing ore. You provide power and makes ores. It's pretty straightforward. We might look at setting that up sometime in the future, like I said, but right now I don't think we're gonna do that. So let's go ahead and pop open all of our loot chests. We got a miner's ring. I'm not really sure what that does. It's from Baubles. Chance cubes, that's fine. Structure, that is a medium wizard tower. We get a fleeting stone. 3 automatic hammerers. Some chunk loaders and spot loaders. Meteorite compass. Red alloy and electrotine alloy. We have those in autocraft, so those aren't quite as awesome as they used to be, but it's still our alright rewards. Better than glisten glass walls, right? Alright, and then finally we get some heavy aluminum wire and aluminum wire. Cool. So those are things. Is that magnetic craft? I think that's what those are from. Those are things we're not going to get too much use out of in this playthrough, I don't think. There are quests earlier on in the alpha section where we do have to mess around with some of that stuff, so we might be able to use those, but I don't think we're going to be using the machines for anything specific. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. We got a lot of good stuff going on. Getting that pink slime hooked up. Getting, all of the pink slime crystals. Like I said, those are going to be useful for later on when we start doing some of the extreme crafting. We definitely want a lot of that pink slime, so we're going to be letting that thing go for a while. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.